Yes,
Brother,
sir.
good to meet you, man. Thank you again for your time, man. Love and War, man. Let's dig in, man. Let's dig in. Let's talk about it, man. I heard the album yesterday and today, and I'm gonna tell you right now, brother. Thank you for bringing the old school back,
Thank you,
man.
man.
And I was dig I couldn't turn it off, brother. I was at the gym this morning, and I'm like,
Wow.
yes, I couldn't stop, brother. I love it, man.
Yeah,
What
we grew
talk?
up in the 70s and 80s and 90s, man. So,
Yeah,
we definitely are that era, so
yeah.
uh that's our genre. So
Mhm,
yeah, I mean,
mhm.
we were touring through the 80s and 90s back in the day. So you know,
Right,
uh,
right on, man. Right on. I'm blessed to hear just that it's still here. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah. Because
Well, we
I
got to
was
keep it alive because it's trying to die, and we can't let that happen.
you guys are waving the flag. You guys are
Amen.
waving, yeah, man. You guys are waving the flag, and I love it because when I was hearing it, I'm like, you guys throw on the Southern charm on it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I was,
we grew up
yeah,
with the Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker, stuff like that, and
no,
so
yeah. Okay, okay. Well, talk to me. Talk to me how the band came about, man. How you
well,
guys have a history, so let's dig
John,
in.
John Adams, my guitar player, and we've been together since God. I hate to show my age, but I think we're like going on almost 40 years,
Oh wow. Okay.
30 plus for sure.
Hmm.
I moved to Houston in '82,
Hmm.
and I met John. He came and picked me up from my hotel room when I was staying here, and I met him at a club called Cardi's. And we formed a band called Works back in the day. This is our third band together
Okay.
since 82, 1982.
Oh wow.
That's how far back John and I go.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and we actually toured. We actually toured with that band. We zigzagged all over the United States doing the club circuit and all whatnot. And
Hmm.
we had another band in the '90s called Lestat,
Okay.
and we did a reunion of that. We had gone out to LA and all that stuff, touring with that band. And we did a reunion for that back in 2000. And we
Hmm.
had so much fun doing that we said, hey, let's start another band. And Love and War came about. And we've been together ever since, and we've
Yeah.
been rocking. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
here
And
we
the
are.
album, yeah, and the album came out 2020, correct?
Well,
The
the
recent one.
first album, yeah, the recent one did, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
when we released the album, we did Up the Ante first, and it was out. And we've done a re-release of that. We just repackaged it. We got signed recently last year
Oh, okay. Nice.
to
Nice.
No Dust Records out of New York and Animated Insanity out of the Netherlands. And what they did is they repackaged our first CD, Up the Ante,
Hmm.
with our new CD, and we got a bonus track on it. So that's what this is here. It's the
Yep.
double CD,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's currently out. It was released last September
Okay. Okay.
worldwide, and here we are with it. So it's got a live track on it from that we did. It was a live track of Judas Priest
I
delivering
heard
the
that.
goods.
I heard
Delivering
that.
the goods.
And you know what? And you know what? When it came, when I had it, and I was like, man, like you guys really nailed it, man. It was perfect.
Thank you.
Brother, I was
We
like,
kind of
man,
sped it up. It's
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
Unleashed in the East. I mean, every song on that record was like super fast. We kind of sped it up, but it's live. So
It's yeah, exactly, bro. But I mean, kudos to you, man. Much love and
thank you.
respect because to touch Priest, right? To touch any band of that era, you know,
Yeah, well, that's like I
yeah,
said, that's our genre. So
yeah,
Van Halen, Priest, that genre. That's kind of what we cut our teeth with. So
yeah. And I want to say my favorite song on the album is Mercenary Man. That's
oh,
that's
thank you,
that that's my favorite, brother. That's my favorite one. The
thank
chorus,
you.
I was, man, I'm telling you, like I was at the gym and I wanted to start singing it, man.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of sticks in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I did.
talk to me about the songwriting process, brother. Like like walk me through what how does Love and War sit down and
Well,
and
it
and
kind
kind
of
of get something good.
varies. It kind of varies. John John, writes the music part of it most of the time. There's sometimes when I get ideas in my head and I'll hum them like into my phone, recorder, and I'll sit down with John. But a lot of times John will come up with these riffs, and he'll say, he just sent me one the other day. He goes, listen to this, that's what he does. And we'll get together and I'll have him play it over and over and over again. And then I'll sit Indian style and I'll whatever comes to me, I'll start writing some lyrics down, jotting stuff down. And then over the course of a little bit of time, it comes to be. And that's kind of how we've done it forever. There were times back in the day when I would just write lyrics, and I had lyrics to songs and had no idea what music, and he would play me some music and I go, my lyrics will go perfect with that. And it just happened. I don't know where it comes from, it just from the Never Land, but that's just sort of how it works. That's how we done it. And then we get together in our studio with the rest of the guys and we fine tune it. They add their stank on it, and it becomes Love and War.
Yeah.
And now we've got Greg. We got Greg Gill in the band now. We went to Greg to record Up the Ante. He had a studio. I don't know if you know Jeff Diamond. He had Diamond Amplification and
yes.
Yeah, he was real good. He did a lot of stuff at the NAMM show and stuff in LA. But he had a recording studio here. And Bobby Blotzer, the drummer for Rat, was in on it. He had moved here briefly, and he was in on that. So and Greg was the house producer and sound guy there, and we went into that studio and recorded Up the Ante, and he did such a great job. He has such a great ear that when we did the new record, we called him and said, "Hey, do you still have your recording gear?" And he had moved to Missouri. So he said, well, I do still have it, but give me some time and I'll put a studio together. And he did, and he put it in this 100-year-old abbey, place called the Abbey. It's on 70 acres of property and it's super cool. It's haunted. All right, nice, it's this really cool place. And we went there and we got him involved in recording and and he knows our music and we asked him to join the band. So now he's our fifth member now.
There it is.
So we do a lot of national shows when we do play live. We open up for a lot of big bands. In fact, we got one coming up in 2 weeks. With Stephen Piercy from Rat and
amazing
and Slaughter. We'll be opening. We're opening for those guys at a club here called Rise Rooftop. It's a really nice, big venue. There'll be a couple thousand people there.
There we go. Yeah. So I mean, it's been successful, right? I feel like you guys have been able to get the name out and handle.
Oh, we've been doing national shows for years and years and years. We were really close friends with a good friend of ours that he recently passed away, John Escamilla, who was a huge influence, who helped us huge. He was a concert promoter here in town. And so he would bring all these bands in and he'd call us and we were kind of his go-to band. So we got to open up for a lot. Name them. Who's ever out on tour right now, Tesla, pretty much anybody. Rat. Wow. Michael Schenker. Just about a lot of names. Over the years, it's the list is so long. I'd have to write them all down to remember.
You're like, we got pictures. We got a photo album of individuals. Yeah. Of just great musicians, man. And so with playing with these cats, you know what I mean? What do you have you felt like it kind of drove you, it kind of inspired you to continue?
Oh, absolutely.
Going, yeah.
John, we've gotten to open for Michael Schenker 3 different times now. And
beautiful.
Michael Schenker was a huge influence on John. My guitar player, John Adams. He grew up listening to Schenker, and you can definitely tell there's some Schenker influence.
Definitely.
On some of the songs, on some of our songs, you can hear the harmonizing guitars. It's got Schenker written all over it.
Yeah.
That's John. That's John.
Yeah.
Schenker.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, man. And the thing I want to say about the album is not only the I'm like, okay, it's like one of my favorites now, but
Thank you.
it's got a very it's updated sound, updated production. You know what I mean?
Oh
Is
yeah.
that something? Because I know some of the bands that go for the long haul, they want to go with the vintage. You know what I mean? Was that something when you
Right.
guys went in the studio and you're like, hey, we're gonna keep it modern a little bit?
It kind of happened that way. That had to do with the equipment that Greg had. He
Mm,
was using Pro Tools and whatnot. Back in the day, we recorded analog, which gives you, I think, a warmer sound.
it does.
But a lot of people, it's a longer process. You got to pretty much nail everything, and you got to redo it, and it's on that fat tape. Nowadays with digital, I mean, the process of recording is so much faster with digital.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, there's no doubt about it. It's just a lot faster.
yeah, yeah.
You can
And
go in and you can fix drum parts, and you can go, you sang that little verse a little bit too long, longer than you did the first one. So you can snip it down and cut it and make it match perfect.
exactly, exactly.
Digital recording is, yeah.
It's the future now.
Oh
That's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I want to ask you, as a band, who I'm guessing you guys were around the time to record in analog, but how did you feel when adapting to the digital? How did you feel like going into it?
Well, it wasn't it wasn't a hard transition, but
Mm,
back in the day when you used to record on the tape, you just had to do so many more takes, and you had to
mm.
nail it. I mean, a lot of times, like bands like, could you imagine bands like Led Zeppelin in Kansas when they
Oh
were
man.
recording on 8-track?
Oh
What they
man.
got out of that?
Yeah,
But they would have to do the whole damn song and nail it, and
yeah,
if you missed one little part, you'd have to redo the whole damn song all over again,
yeah,
18,000 freaking times.
yeah, yeah, oh,
Digital, you don't have to do that. So
yeah, yeah.
it is definitely a lot faster, but I don't know. I think you do lose a little bit of something in that.
You do, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like those records, that's what made it so amazing, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's the magic, man. Because I could listen to Sabbath from anything from 1970, 1978, and I hear the mistakes. I'm like, I don't care about the mistakes, because like I'm like, that's Tony Iommi. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nowadays, some of these kids they're recording an album on their damn laptop,
yeah, yeah,
and it
yeah,
sounds like it. It's all, you can hear the electronic, and it's all digital, and it's all bullshit.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you definitely lose. We don't want to record something in the studio that we can't do live.
Hmm, hmm.
So, you can do the Mutt Lang thing and do umpteen million tracks, and you can sound amazing on your album. Yeah. But if you can't do it live, you're kind of screwing them.
Yeah,
You're kind of screwing yourself too.
yeah, exactly, exactly. No, and it ruins the authenticity of the band, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Want to jump in really quick to tell you about one of my favorite brands and my brothers over at Heavy Defender Merch. Heavy Defender Merch products are a must-have for any heavy metal fan. Their banners, pins, and apparel is made from high-quality materials that feature bold, eye-catching designs that are truly to capture the essence of the metal lifestyle. The shirts are comfortable and durable as hell, man. The hoodies are perfect for when you're leaving the whiskey and it's fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, it's cold as shit. Heavy Defenders offers a great selection of products for any metalhead looking to represent their passion in freaking style. With unique designs and quality material, hey, check out HDM. Yeah, because and I wish I was looking at some of the pictures that they sent me of you guys and just looking at the socials and stuff, man. And like you guys, it connects with the music. You know what I mean? Because I
Thank
haven't
you.
I haven't seen you guys live yet, but but
Fly on out, man. We're just
brother,
we're just a
yeah,
short flight away.
yeah, man. I got family in Texas, man. So I mean, I'm ready, brother. I'm ready.
Hell,
But
we'd love to see you next weekend, man. We got Eddie Trunk is going to be hosting it.
oh, nice,
For that
nice, that
metal
metal
show.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the host of the show, and it's going to be Stephen Piercy, and It'll be a lot of fun. So,
That's
if you
bad.
could come in for that,
I would love to, brother. I would love to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but someday, man. Someday
we'll show you some
I'll get.
Texas hospitality.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Because I got family in Waco. I got family in Waco,
Oh, right on.
so and
That's
they'll
north of
take.
us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. They take me around because I've been to Dallas, I've been to Houston, I've been everywhere. And
I used to love playing Dallas.
yeah.
We used to play Dallas quite a bit. We haven't been there in a while, but we love playing Dallas.
Okay.
San
And you guys,
Antonio is a lot of fun. Austin.
yeah, man. And you guys are homegrown, right? That's what I love about you guys. You guys are homegrown, man. Like, and talk to me how that the roots come into the music. Talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, like I said, John and I did the club circuit back in the day when we were touring. So we toured all over the United States they used to have a club circuit. I don't even know if they even have that anymore. Throughout the late 80s, early 90s, throughout that time, we had booking agents that would book us, and we jumped in a van, and we bought a big 22-foot truck from Budget Rental with a hydro lift on the back of it, stuffed it full of band gear, and we just hit the road.
Yeah.
And we'd be playing. We booked the place like the farthest away, like in Florida.
Oh,
and
wow.
then we'd zigzag through Florida, and then we'd play our way there and play our way back, and that would be a tour. And then we'd book like the Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we'd play everywhere from here to Memphis, Tennessee, and then we'd zigzag up and we'd play all the way up to Michigan, and then we'd play our way through back, and that would be another tour. And then out to LA. We played LA a couple of times.
Yeah. Talk to me. What's your favorite place to play? What's a place that you're like, you know what? It's always a 10. It's always amazing. Talk to me. What's a good place?
I hate to toot my horn, man, but Texas is pretty damn kick ass. There, and I used to love playing Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, come on, what's not to love about playing in Florida?
Yeah.
We're at the beach, 90% of the time. We'd steal the van and go have oysters and beer. And, and it was just fun zigzagging through Florida. But I got to say, we played at FM station, which is gone now. I heard it was in the Valley back in the 90s in LA, and we played at Gazzari's.
Okay. Oh wow.
Before it went tits up. But,
yeah.
Ben Gazzari had just died, I think, like 2 or 3 months before we had gotten there, and his daughter was running the place, and it was kind of a fluke. We had just gotten into town, and we were really there to play at FM station, and we went out on the town, and John and my then bass player David McElmurray, they went out and were passing our tapes out to the different clubs, the Whiskey and all that, and they were all booked. And Gazzari said, "Hey, we actually have an opening tonight if you want to play." And we were like, "Hell yeah!" We had just gotten into town, and John comes by where I was staying, and he said, "Rest up, we're playing at Gazzari's tonight." And I was like, "Are you shitting me?" But we made it happen, and it was a blast.
Yeah. So I mean, LA, it's a hit or miss. I'm guessing, because we over here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather be out there with you guys where the real music is happening.
Yeah.
Where the love is really where it's at, man. Over here,
I don't know if LA is really happening anymore. Half the band guys that from then, they all live in Nashville now.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm worried about the scene out here, man. I mean, these young cats, they're coming up. I'm gonna be honest with you. These young cats that I've talked to, and they got some respect, and they're coming up and they're playing, they're shredding, they're heavy. But
you're in a band there, Burning Legion, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So where do you guys play?
But right now it's a studio band. It's a studio band right now, and we got to get some hired guns, man. That's the thing. But the beauty of it is that I'm collaborating, right? And you come across some beautiful individuals,
absolutely
people, man. That
we do that all the time out here. We have friends with recording studios and with TV studios. They actually we have a friend that does a show. And it's called The Basement, and he does it in his it's like it's just like Wayne's World, but they've got it's pro as hell. He's got a whole club set up in his basement, and they video it all and record everything, and and it goes out live on Facebook. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. The technology, right? The technology.
Yeah,
We
live.
got to
It's called
get.
Live at Bill's. You ought to go, try to find it, and you can. I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Check it out. I mean, he's got all these bands, local bands, and people coming in and playing there, and they interview them like what we're doing, and it's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. It's really cool.
that's
That kind
awesome.
of shit's taken off, you know.
It has to, and it has to just for the community, man. It doesn't matter
Absolutely,
if you're over here on the thrash side or you're on the classic side. We all got to come together. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
It's one big happy family. Because I mean, there's some
absolutely.
days, I could put on, some Journey. You know what I mean? And then
Right,
throw on some Cannibal Corpse or so.
right,
It's all
right.
good. It's all love, man. But I mean, I want to talk to about the vocals, man. Talk to me about the how did you come to be? How did the vocals come out, man? Because I'm listening and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I wish I could sing like that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, brother, talk to me. How did that come
Well,
about, brother?
it was a little process, really.
Yeah.
We rehearsed the whole thing here before we went out there. So I knew pretty much what I was going to sing, before we got there. We had rehearsed the whole damn thing more or less at our studio here. We have a warehouse that we all meet in and rehearse in for shows and whatnot. And we had gotten together and worked on it a lot before we went out there to actually record it. But when we first went out, they laid the meat and potato tracks. They laid the bass and drum tracks, and John did some guitar scratch tracks the first time we went out, because we had to fly out to Missouri or drive to Missouri. That's like a 12-hour drive from here. And we had to that's what took so long to do this album, because we didn't do it here in Houston. We had to drive or fly to Missouri and stay in hotels and actually we fell in love with the place. John actually bought a lake house there.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Now we have a house to stay at on a
There
lake.
We go.
In Missouri. It's absolutely gorgeous there.
Yeah.
But and we had to do it around Greg's time when he could fit us in too. So it took longer to finish the album than what we anticipated originally. But the end, you heard the end result. So
man,
it was like magic. But I laid some scratch vocal tracks, just so that they could keep the timing, for
of course
recording. And then John and I flew back several times. John laid some more his guitar tracks, some rhythm tracks, and then I went and started laying the vocal tracks down. And what I didn't like, when I went back, I redid. But most of them were not. I didn't really have to redo a whole lot of it.
Okay.
We were pretty much ready, and I nailed it. I would do 2-3 songs sometimes in one night session.
Oh wow!
I would just go, let it go. Let's knock this sucker out. My voice felt strong. I was warmed up and ready to roll. So, it really kind of went like that. I went back one other time and finished the vocal tracks and did some overdubs. And then John added some of his harmony stuff that he did. And then he went back and redid his some of his leads and guitar tracks, and voila, it was done. But it was drawn out only because we had to fly and drive there.
Yeah. The logistical parts of it.
Yeah. And then right when we released it, freaking COVID hit. So
I know.
The timing for that really sucked. We were all excited and and we had a big momentum going. And then all of a sudden we couldn't promote it.
But I think what it is that it was unfortunate, COVID and everything, but you still blessed everybody by giving us.
Well, thank you.
You know what I mean? Because I got, I think in that time it was dark. It was a bad time for everybody. But you put out even some tunes. You never know who you're gonna be touching, man. You never know who you're gonna be bringing up that spirit, especially with your guys' music, man. Because
right on.
I think it hit me here, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. It hit me here. Like I was thinking about my father, because my father loves the old school stuff. He brought me up on that stuff. You know what I mean? I can't wait to show him. I'm like, hey, I talk to these guys, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think you guys putting out music just blessed everybody. You know what I mean? And I think.
Well, what was crazy is it really hit over in Europe too. We were getting airplay and stuff in Japan, and and France, Italy.
Oh wow.
And we had people calling and requesting us to send them CDs. But then when COVID with the COVID, which we were doing, hell, it was costing us more to ship that stuff than we were actually charging for the album.
Yeah,
which was kind of crazy,
Yeah,
And we distributed it through CD Baby, and then when COVID hit, they shut down completely.
Oh, they did.
So we weren't even able to distribute it.
Oh man.
We had people calling us in Europe going, "Hey, send us, 50 copies, send us 100 copies." And they'd get rid of them, and then they want more, and we couldn't send them more. And it was crazy. It was how fast it was going. And we were getting the airplay, and the momentum was still going, but we were it was like our arm was broken,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's unfortunate, man. But I mean,
so
we're here now.
Right. So with this new release, it's kind of rekindled it again. And now it's a double CD package. So it's got Up the Ante and the new album on it.
Okay.
And with the bonus live track. So
yeah. No, I want to ask, kind of going back to the recording stuff though, because I do want to praise you on that voice, man. That is power.
Buddy.
That is power, brother. And when it comes to that, like, what's the technique? You know what I mean? What is the, like? Do you do tea? Do you what? Talk to me about
that. Well, way back in the day when we were touring, my throat was like hamburger. I mean, we went from doing like, opening for national shows twice a month to literally playing a club, the same club, sometimes 3-4 nights straight. And they would want us to do 3-4 sets a night with like a 15 or 20 minute break in between. And that was every night of the week. And then we'd have one day off and drive for 13 hours to another city, set up our whole show, and then play that same club for another 3 or 4 nights. And my voice never got a rest. So I almost lost my voice. It got, and I went to a throat doctor, the whole bit. And I learned how to start warming up. So now before I serenade my neighbors, I wear headphones and I'm in the tub banging on the side. Singing along to records, doing all the harmonies and everything. Before I do a show or even rehearsal, that's what I do. I take a hot bath and warm up in the tub. Singing along to CDs with headphones on.
Yeah.
Gargle hot salt water, sipping tea.
And I feel like vocalists have the hardest job. You guys got to control the crowd. You guys got to warm everybody up. To me, as a bass player, that just gives me anxiety.
Get into a club and everybody and their brothers want to talk to you before you go on, and a lot of times I just like to sit quiet. Kind of gear up and get ready for the show, because I'll be honest, I've been doing national shows for years and years, and I still get nervous as hell until I'm out on stage. Once I'm out on stage and I'm hit the first note, it all goes away. All the anxiety goes away. It's just like, but before the show, I'm a nervous wreck. I just gotta like to be quiet, and I'm thinking about what I'm, thinking about the songs and and stuff like that. And I'm warming up throughout the day, because a lot of times some of these venues, you get there super early. And then you got to load in, and then you got to do a sound check, and you're already at the venue, and it's like you got to kill hours and hours, and then you got to wait. Sometimes depending on what in line your band is playing, you're having to wait, and then the waiting, like Tom Petty said, the waiting is the hardest part.
It is. Yeah. Hey, he's right though. He was right.
It sucks, man. You're just backstage, just pacing. Trying to keep your voice warm, and then the lights go down and you hit the stage, and it's just everything goes away. It's crowd. You feed off the audience.
There it is.
Hey everybody, jumping in real quick just to let you know about today's sponsor, Metal and Iron. Are you a gym goer? Do you like listening to metal? Do you like lifting heavy? Well, Metal and Iron's got you covered, with shirts and designs that are there to let people know that you're about the heavy lifestyle. None of this Gymshark shit, none of this Adidas, Nikes, nah, you're there to lift the heavy shit. So check it out. Use the code Beyond Heavy for 15% off, and let them know Mayhem sent you.
Man. And I want to ask you, were you ever, did you ever take any vocal lessons or anything like that?
Not really. When I was younger, I sang in choirs and stuff in school. And
Gotcha.
that taught me how to hear harmonies.
Mhm.
I hear harmonies in my head, which it helped me help John, and when we're figuring out harmonies and stuff like that, I hear him instantly in my head. So
Wow.
stuff like that kind of comes easy, in the studio. Greg will go, "Hey, that sounds great. You want to throw a harmony part in there?" And I'll go, "Yeah, let it roll it,"
Yeah.
and I'll just add a harmony,
Yeah.
and we'll build it from there. And it's so much, it's easy for me. So
Wow. Yeah.
I'm really lucky that way.
Yeah, no, because again, from the the musician side, from the bass player side, from the composer side, the producer
Do you
side.
sing also in your band?
No, that's why.
You're right.
That's why I like when I love speaking to singers, man. I love, you guys are snowflakes, but you guys have. I feel like you guys are more spiritual, more, because it's your instrument is your voice. You know what I mean? The music is
Yeah,
coming
if you lose
out of
that,
you.
you're screwed.
Exactly.
There's no faking that.
Exactly.
The audience
Exactly.
knows. The audience knows right off the bat.
No.
Sucking. So.
Exactly. But I mean, from what I'm hearing in the music, there's a lot of mix of influences, man. I want to hear what are some of the some of the cats that you were kind of trying to sing along with. Who were the guys you were inspired by?
Well, the top three, obviously, right off the bat was Led Zeppelin. Plant. And Van Halen, obviously not so much even for his voice, but his showmanship.
Of course.
David Lee Roth was just, he was the master of the stage, and
He's
the
from
king
another
of cool
world.
He was the king of cool back then. I mean, he had the swagger, which but actually, like bands like Kansas. Have you ever listened to Steve Walsh, the original singer for Kansas? That fucker could sing, man.
Yeah, man.
His voice was amazing.
Yeah.
And live, I mean, how he did that live, and he was all over the stage, man, singing that shit, that power. And of course, you got Bruce Dickinson, and stuff like that are just master showmen and still doing it at 70, and he sings that power shit.
Yeah. I get tired just looking at him, man.
I mean, you're like, those guys are like, they're not human, man.
Yeah.
And Klaus Meine from Scorpions.
Scorpions.
I actually met him a couple of times.
Right on, man. Right on.
And I was just like, he's like a little Keebler guy. He's really short.
Is he that short?
He is super short. Well, I'm 6'5", so I look like fucking Jolly Green Giant. But he is super. He's like a little Keebler guy. He's super.
Oh man, man!
He's got that vibe,
man.
The Tokyo place, hiya. And I'm like, you're a monster. You're a fucking animal, man.
Yeah.
I go, Klaus, and he goes, in the flesh, man.
Yeah, man.
How do you do it, man? Sing that night after night.
When I heard Wings of Change, I was like, oh man, and no one like you and still loving you. Oh my God, man. I could the classics, they don't write stuff like that anymore, brother. No, they don't, man. I feel like I'm an old soul, man. I feel like I was born in the 80s, but man, like I was born in the wrong era, man.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it was a blessing being around in the 70s, man. There's so many cool bands in the 70s.
Yeah. But I mean, and also kind of like when I was hearing you, and this might be a little far-fetched, a little out of left field. When I was hearing you, I was trying to just listen to you, and it would give me remnants of the guys from Boston too.
Well, yeah, I heard, I grew up in Boston. And of course, Halford Priest.
Halford. Oh man, yeah. That's where you get your highs from, huh?
Yeah. I've always had kind of a high voice, anyway. But So
no, it's classic.
Try to change that up a little bit. It's hard to pull that shit off night after night.
I could only imagine, brother. I could only imagine. Man. I
ain't spring chickens no more. I ain't my 20s, unfortunately. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't even attempt it, man. I could try in the shower or in my truck, but not even close, man. Not even close, brother. But I want to transition. I mean, what's coming up for Love and War, man? What's anything with the new album? I
Well,
don't know if
we
I'm
are actually in
premature.
the process. Greg and John are currently they're kicking some tracks around. John sent me a little thing of some ideas, some riffs that he was throwing around just the other day. So we're in the process of coming up with some new tunes. And we've got some stuff. We've got some older stuff that we kind of started that we just kind of put on the back burner. So we're in the process of we're hoping to have start recording another album by spring, summer.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Okay. And what's the mind frame? What are we talking? How are we gonna be a little different from the last one? What's the different?
only time will tell.
Only
Really,
time will tell. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, we don't like people to be able to put a finger on what we're going to do. We don't want to be categorized in a box. You know what I mean? That's why that last CD was kind of all over the map. We did some heavy stuff. We did some melodic stuff. We did some, stuff that sounded kind of alienish, I mean, and that's kind of the way we are. We don't like stick to a format and then stay there,
Yeah.
We're kind of all over the place because that's what we listened to when we were kids.
Yeah. And I think that's the best way you describe the album. Like, you guys are all over the place, but it's still the Love and War stamp. You know what I mean?
But it still sounds like us. It's definitely we got our stank on it, it's definitely our sound.
Yeah.
So, and the new one will be the same.
Okay. Yeah. Because I don't remember which track it was, but there was a song with the banjo, right?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
John actually played the banjo on that, and we had a friend of ours, Eric Thompson, threw the harmonica stuff on that and just knocked it out the park.
Man,
he took that song to a whole different level. I mean, I could play the harmonica, but not like that. Not like that. He's actually a studio musician. He does stuff in Nashville with the big boys. So, and he was sitting around the studio, and I was like, what this fucking needs? It needs some harmonica, man.
Yeah.
Let's give it that swampy, that swamp harmonica, bluesy, and he knocked it out the park.
Yeah.
I mean, he nailed that shit like within 2 takes. It was done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because when I was listening to it, and then once it came in, I was like, "Whoa, what was that?
Whoa,
what's going?"
Yeah, it's like right in your face.
Yeah, I know, and I love how you guys incorporate the different instruments. I had chills. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had chills when I heard it. I was like,
John did some stuff that sounded like a sitar, in the beginning, and you hear the crickets and the swamp and the music, in the background, when it goes, and the frogs, and then it goes that sitar kind of sound, and then he goes into the banjo, and then Eric hits you right in the face with that harmonica, and it all kind of came around.
It was it was very unique, man, and I think that's what, again, the Love and War stamp, but it's like incorporating different music, right?
Right on.
Different instruments, man. I love it, man. I love it.
Right on.
So yeah, JJ, I gotta cut it short, man. I appreciate your time.
Love you, bro. Thank you. Time just flew. I've had so much fun.
It really did, man. And I'm like, dude, I was like, I was really excited about this interview, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't even sleep last night.
Thank you so much.
You could even ask my wife. She's like, man, tell Matt to shut up about this album. I'm like,
well, thank you so much.
Yeah, brother. Yeah,
this has been great. You're amazing, man. I can't wait to see you. I hope you come out in Texas, or we'll go out to LA, and we'll get together and throw down.
Yeah, exactly, brother, exactly. So before I let you go, tell people where they can find you, where they can find Love and War, they can, the socials, the plugs. Talk to me.
Well, we do have a Facebook page. Love and War is on Facebook. John has a Love and War page on Instagram, and we do have a Love and War page online. The new CD is out. It's badass. It's out for release. You can get it through, and we are on Spotify. Now I don't think we've uploaded Up the new version of it. We have the newest CD there, but Up the Ante's not on Spotify. But you can access it. You can download tracks off of any of the streaming networks.
Yeah, perfect,
That's
perfect. And
about
I'm gonna put the links and everything. I'm gonna get them.
right on.
Here.
If you're in Europe, you can get it through Animated Insanity out of the Netherlands, and we've got No Dust Records out of New York, and they're great guys, and we got to thank them so much for believing in us and taking the chance and repackaging this deal for us and getting it out to the world. So
there it is, man. There it is.
Fantastic.
All right. Double J, thank you so much, man. Let me go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Matt.